Last year, Carlos Sainz and Tommy Mäkinen were locked in a battle for the driver's title until the last few hundred metres of the final round in Great Britain. The Spaniard's Toyota Corolla stopped almost within sight of the finish, delivering a crushing blow to the double world champion. Sainz's misfortune handed the title to Mäkinen for the third year in succession.
Suddenly my brother phoned from the end of the last stage and he said, hey, could you believe Carlos' car is get the fire and he's standing here, he can't, he's just 300 meters before the end. And I said, no, don't be joking, it's a bit too serious. Yes, it's true. And I couldn't believe it.
Tommy Mäkinen took 5 victories to win the title. Carlos Sainz was runner-up, 2 points adrift. Colin McRae won 3 rounds to finish third. Juha Kankkunen was 4th, with Didier Auriol and Richard Burns completing the top 6. Mitsubishi started 1999 as the reigning manufacturers' champions. They retained the services of Tommy Mäkinen and co-driver Risto Manisimaki. Freddie Loix and co-driver Sven Smeets joined the team for a full assault on the series after showing promise in selected rounds in '98. Toyota were the only team to field the same drivers as last year, with Carlos Sainz, Luis Moya, Didier Auriol and Dennis Girardet providing a strong lineup. Juha Kankkunen had signed up with Subaru and was joined in the team by Richard Burns. The Englishman replaced Colin McRae, who moved to Ford for the Focus's maiden season. Skoda joined the WRC teams this year with Armin Schwartz leading their challenge, while Seat in their first full season fielded Harry Rovanperä and Piero Liatti. Set against the magnificent backdrop of the Alps in January, Monte Carlo provided the venue for the first round of the 1999 FIA World Rally Championship. As the oldest event of its kind, the Monte Carlo Rally carries much prestige, in addition to presenting the teams and drivers with challenges unique to the Principality.
Monte Carlo Rally is the one that everybody wants to win. Everybody would like to win this rally, but you can get so many different weather conditions and road conditions, ice, snow, dry tarmac.
On this rally, more than any other, tyre choice is critical, and Michelin and Pirelli came prepared, providing many different types of tyre to meet the varied surfaces. When a stage starts in one valley, heads over the mountain, and then ends in another, conditions can change several times, all in just a few miles.
To get every tyre choice absolutely correct, it's very, very difficult indeed. Very difficult rally to win.
Ford debuted their new Focus World Rally car in Monte Carlo, with freshly signed Colin McRae leading the Blue Oval's charge. But the team would start under appeal after a technical infringement was found with the car's water pump. The event was also the first for Skoda at World Rally level, but due to engine software problems, the team would not even take the start.
For Carlos was last year on the last stage. For me, it's even before the ramp this year.
Leg 1 consisted of 5 stages, the first over 48 kilometres long. Tommy Mäkinen was the fastest driver over that icy stage to end the day second overall. Carlos Sainz's season didn't start so well. That was the first of 2 accidents for the Spaniard, the second ending his rally.
Later on the bonnet of the car I couldn't see at all, and in another place with ice I went definitely off.
Colin McRae won the final 2 stages to end the leg in 6th.
6 crest, 54 left plus tightens into slow 3 right over narrow bridge.
Four-time world champion Juha Kankkunen demonstrated his vast experience, placing his Subaru Impreza third overall. The Finn drove consistently to negotiate the treacherous conditions of the early stages, a feat Didier Auriol couldn't quite match.
Attention, gauche 5, attention. Je te l'ai dit, Didier. Trop tard, Denis, tu m'as dit. Eh merde, tiens, je vais chier. Trop tard, Denis. Quand tu me l'annonces. Eh merde!
Mistake of Denis. When he tell me ice braking, I say it's too late and just go off. That can happen.
The Frenchman wasn't the only driver having problems with pace notes.
Nice baby. Stake. 20. Left plus lob and tightens.
That incident dropped Burns to 10th. Piero Liatti had a much better day. Winner of this event in '97, the Italian set the third fastest time on the opening stage to lie fourth overnight. Freddie Loix had a terrible start to the championship. The Belgian was caught out on an icy corner, damaging his radiator, and would take no further part in the event. Gilles Panizzi, driving a privately entered Subaru, was the sensation of the day. Quickest over the third stage, he had a 6-second lead over Mäkinen by the end of stage 5. The second leg of the rally took the drivers from Gap to Monaco, over 155 kilometres of special stages. A cold and early morning awaited Gilles Panizzi, running first on the road. The Frenchman got off to a good start, posting the fastest time over the 6th stage. However, an incorrect tyre choice later in the day, coupled with a stall, cost the Subaru driver time and dropped him to second behind Tommi Mäkinen. The Mitsubishi driver won 2 of the day's stages, finishing the leg with a comfortable cushion of 1 minute 45 seconds. With 4 stages left to run, the team looked good for its 5th consecutive win. Juha Kankkunen and co-driver Juha Repo maintained their consistency, quickest over the 8th stage to retain 3rd place on the leaderboard for the final leg. Liatti couldn't sustain his pace though, losing his brakes with 2 stages to go, dropping back to 9th. Bruno Thierry started the day in 5th, but failed to get to grips with the 99 Impreza and fell to 6th place. Colin McRae won the last stage of the day, lifting him to 4th. While Francois Delacour, winner of the event in '94, lay only 26 seconds behind the works outfit in last year's Escort. Didier Auriol made up some of the time he lost the previous day, moving up 1 place to 7th. The third and final leg consisted of 109 kilometres of special stages, the first of which would prove decisive. Tommi Mäkinen would struggle on that opening stage, losing time in the treacherous conditions.
Vittu oikein eri jäässä.
That incident could have proved very costly, except that his rival Gilles Panizzi was to suffer worse. The privateer slid wide and rolled after hitting a patch of black ice, putting an end to the Frenchman's rally. Juha Kankkunen was the beneficiary.
40. Long medium left.
Passing Panizzi on the leaderboard as well as on the road moved the Finn into second place.
70. Flat right 100. Medium right tightens. To K right and long medium left.
A good tyre choice helped Colin McRae post the quickest time on the day's second stage, placing the Focus a very credible 3rd on its debut. But if he is disqualified when the appeal is heard, the highest place forward would be a privateer. Francois Delacour ran as high as 3rd on the final day, posting the 2nd quickest time on stage 14, meant he entered the final section in a 3-way battle for 4th place. Bruno Thierry looked good for that place after setting the 2nd fastest time on the opening stage, but a puncture dropped him to 6th. The Subaru driver's misfortune was to benefit Didier Auriol. The Toyota driver was quickest over the final section to secure fourth. Pierre Liatti drove the Seat to 7th overall. Mäkinen was rarely among the quickest drivers on the final day. The Finn could afford to ease off with Penizzi out and still take victory by over a minute and a half.
100 ja pitkä vasen plus. Ja se on saatana siinä. Jep.
Long 3 days in extremely difficult condition, and I mean, I have to be more than happy.
This was Mäkinen's and Mitsubishi's first win in the Principality, and also the rugby-based outfit's 5th consecutive victory. A great start to the reigning champions' title defence. Confirmation of the results, Mäkinen domination. A good debut for the Ford Focus, but McRae's result was only provisional. Auriol took the points for third after Ford lost their appeal and McRae was excluded. Liatti took the final point. The second round of the championship took the teams to Sweden, a unique winter challenge where temperatures can drop to -30. After working hard between events, Ford came to Scandinavia with a revised water pump.
What we've effectively had to do is to move the position of the water pump and install the standard pump that is obviously standard to the normal road-going Focus.
Leg 1 consisted of 8 stages, starting from Karlstad and heading north. Less snow than usual meant that speeds were very high, with records set on nearly every stage. Tommy Mäkinen had won this event twice and drove well over the first leg, setting fastest times on 3 of the day's stages in a fiercely fought battle with Carlos Sainz. The Finn held a 2-second advantage overnight.
8. Typpy vasemmalle 6. Lyhyt oikein, helppo 6.
Beginning I was going a bit more careful because there was some trouble on places, and over these places I was going a bit more careful, and then the end flat out, and I couldn't find any problem with the tires.
Juha Kankkunen did have problems with his tyres. The Finn who won this event in 1986 tried all the combinations of compound pattern and stud variation, but failed to convert the car's power to the road.
We've had a bit of a frustrating time with the tyres. We just can't get any grip at the moment, and not a lot we can do about it at present. We're waiting for maybe the weather changes, something has to fall into our lap.
Didier Auriol pushed hard without taking risks. Third fastest on 5 stages to end the day 4th. The lack of snow and freezing temperatures meant that the roads were very icy, but this didn't hinder Auriol's teammate Carlos Sainz, who was sensational on the opening day. The Spaniard boosted his chances of becoming the first non-Scandinavian to win in Sweden when he was fastest over 4 stages. It could have been 5, but he let Mäkinen into the lead, hoping that overnight snow would give him a better starting position for leg 2. McRae's rally started badly. The Scot dropped almost a minute on stage 6 after damaging a wheel, but thereafter made a fine recovery, setting the second fastest time on the final stage to end the day in 5th. Marcus Grönholm, guesting for Seat, had problems of his own. Engine failure ended the Finns' rally on stage 2. With teammate Harry Rovanperä dropping to 89th because of similar problems, it was a disappointing day for the Spanish outfit. Sweden's Thomas Rodström showed the sort of flair in the Focus that McRae had done in Monaco. Fastest over stage 5, he was the only driver to break the Mäkinen-Sainz domination of the first day. Leg 2 took drivers from Karlstad to Borlänge over 6 stages and 142 kilometres. A lack of snowfall overnight meant that Mäkinen and co-driver Mansimäki were not disadvantaged, starting first on the road. The Finns dominated the second leg, winning 5 stages to increase their lead on Carlos Sainz to more than 30 seconds. The Spaniard's gamble hadn't paid off, and his problems were compounded further when he overshot the junction on stage 10. He conceded that his only chance to beat Mäkinen would be if the leader were to make a mistake. Thomas Rodström continued to lead the forward assault. He could never quite match the pace of Mäkinen and Sainz, but nevertheless did enough to lie third overnight, just 18 seconds behind Sainz and 14 ahead of Didier Auriol. The Frenchman set the second quickest time over Jutbo, the rally's longest section, making it possible for him to challenge for a podium spot in the final leg. Lying nearly 2 minutes behind the leaders at the beginning of the second day meant that Colin McRae had to push. But the Scotsman's rally was cut short when his engine started to lose water on the opening stage.
76 crest and right tightens to 5. Opens. What should we do? We're going to stop it.
Start to see. It's dumped all its water out. It could be related to the water pump. But as I say, until we get back, we're not sure.
McRae's retirement left Richard Burns as the highest placed Brit. Unable to catch the drivers in front, Burns and Kankkunen battled with each other, with the Englishman finishing ahead. In Formula 2, Kenneth Eriksson, driving the Hyundai, managed to hang on to the lead, despite picking up road penalties for fixing a sticking throttle. Alistair McRae's problems were more severe. An oil leak set fire to his wire loom when he was lying second. The third day of the rally started from Borlänge and covered 430 kilometres, including 98 on 5 competitive stages. Carlos Sainz had come runner-up in this event for the past 3 years and was determined to put Tommy Mäkinen under pressure on the final leg. The Spaniard reduced the gap and set up a thrilling finale for the last stage, leaving Tommy Mäkinen a little perplexed.
First one was very good, we were fast, but maybe then I slowed down a bit and Carlos and Didier made incredible times. I don't know where they found this good speed. I felt very good after the stage.
We managed to get a few seconds from Thomas, so not bad at the moment.
The other battle of the day raged between Thomas Rodström and Didier Auriol, fighting for third place. Their contest too would be decided on the final stage. Auriol started just 4.3 seconds behind and posted the fastest time, but it wasn't enough.
Il gêne un peu. Gauche à fond, plonge sur attention, droite, pont plus 4 cordes. Pont plus 4 cordes.
Burns had begun the leg with only 5 seconds lead on Kankkunen. Their intra-team battle for fifth continued throughout the day. But in the end, the leg finished how it started. Burns 5 seconds ahead of his more experienced teammate.
It doesn't matter, it doesn't make any big difference where you're 5th or 6th.
Kenneth Eriksson went into the final test with a 35-second lead in the Formula 2 category. But engine problems stopped the Hyundai driver in his tracks. Mäkinen did make it through the final stage, but had to wait for Sainz to find out whether he had won.
Of course, there is still somebody coming behind, but I think they can come 24. Carlos can come 24 seconds faster. I think it should be enough.
It was. Mäkinen had won.
Suecia is really dominating the season now. They have been winning everywhere. Asphalt, gravel, mud. Six consecutive wins, and somehow we have to stop them. It's getting a little bit boring now.
Mäkinen's second win of the season and his third in Sweden. After 3.5 hours of rallying, just 18 seconds separated Mäkinen and Sainz. Rodström took the Focus's first official podium. That win gave Mäkinen maximum points from the first 2 rounds. Mitsubishi led the Manufacturers' Championship 7 points clear of Toyota. The third round of the championship took the teams to Kenya for the Safari Rally. It's the longest and toughest event on the calendar and the only World Championship rally held on open roads. The event would require the drivers to draw on all their abilities.
It's a completely different question of surviving, intelligence, endurance.
Take no chances.
A little bit unpredictable.
Very hot, very rough.
The rally's unique demands required race suspension and air intakes for the engines. But there were difficulties the teams couldn't prepare for.
Problem is the animal.
Pre-rally conditions were exceptionally hot and dry, but that would have little effect on an event that's remarkably tough, whatever the weather. This year's event started with a short super competitive section where drivers battled it out head-to-head. Petter Solberg was Ford's third #2 driver in as many events. The Norwegian replaced Thomas Rodström, who broke his leg prior to the recce. The 24-year-old finished 10th fastest over the 2.5-kilometre section. Harry Rovanperä hoped to put the disappointment of Sweden behind him and drove well, finishing the day in 8th. After a recce accident, Colin McRae started the rally with a broken thumb, but nevertheless posted the 4th fastest time on stage 1. Pierre Liati and Richard Burns were out together. The Italian, back after being replaced by snow specialist Gronholm at the last round, was 5th fastest. Burns, who won here last year, placed the Subaru second. Carlos Sainz, who won this event in 1992, got his Safari Rally off to a good start, finishing the section 3rd. 4 places in front of his teammate, Didier Auriol. Compatriots Mäkinen and Kankkunen raced each other in the opening test. It was the Subaru driver's 130th World Championship start and marked it by winning the stage with Mäkinen down in 12th. The competition began in earnest the following day, running over 300 kilometres of competitive stages. The notoriously tough rally didn't take long to claim its first victim. Freddie Loix and co-driver Sven Smits suffered a high-speed flip on the day's second stage.
He went into this hole in 5th gear instead of 2nd, and the car went end over end. Freddie's fine. He's back in the hospital. We've done an X-ray, and there's nothing broken. A bit of whiplash, and he's on painkillers, so we're pleased to hear that. And Sven, his co-driver, he's walking about. He's fine.
The next stage was to see the retirement of another leading entry, Juha Kankkunen. The Finn's engine management system failed, leaving him very disappointed after his competitive start. But there were problems for Mäkinen too. The Mitsubishi driver lost 12 minutes when he suffered 2 flat tyres. The help he received from locals prompted accusations of illegal outside assistance. An eventful first leg was over, with Burns leading from Sainz, McRae, Auriol, Mäkinen and Liati. Another 4 long and difficult stages awaited the drivers on leg 2. Burns burst on the road, was fastest over the opening stage and was leading by over 25 seconds when disaster struck.
Is there anything in the car we can use?
I can't advise you, Richard, because I don't know where it's broken.
It's at the bottom of the hub, where the arm bolts onto the hub. It's just sheared off.
Sainz's day wasn't much better when he dropped to 6th after a series of problems.
And the bonnet, Pepper, the bonnet is open, the clips has gone. I don't know what happened.
The troubles that affected Burns and Sainz benefited Colin McRae.
At the moment everything looks good, so fingers crossed.
Scotsman had a trouble-free run, bar a couple of punctures, to lead by almost 15 minutes. With Solberg also driving well, any anxiety the team had about durability could be laid to rest. Didier Auriol was in second, 10 minutes ahead of Mäkinen after winning stage 7, but was to be bitterly disappointed when on the final section of the day he picked up 3 punctures. The Frenchman lost 17 minutes and dropped to 3rd. After losing time the previous day, Mäkinen was surprised to be in second at the end of leg 2, but the Finn wasn't without his problems.
Unfortunately, he also hit quite a hard bump, and that did a bit of damage on the left-hand front strut and also the sump guard. So we're busy changing those components just now.
Pierre Eliatti finished 5th here last year in a 2-wheel drive Ibiza. He was on course for a repeat of that result at the end of leg 2, despite having to drive for more than 70 kilometres on stage 7 with brake problems. The third and final leg consisted of the 4 gruelling stages used in leg 1. The gap between Colin McRae and Tommi Mäkinen on any other event would be unassailable, but on the safari, anything is possible. The Scotsman started first on the road, but didn't drive as hard as he might, aware that a mistake could cost him the victory.
Very well, just very steady. Tommy took quite a lot of time out of us, but there's no reason to push hard. We're just being very careful.
With McRae backing off, Mäkinen had to push, and push he did, closing to within 8 minutes, but his progress was hindered.
At the end we had to brake quite a lot for dust, because Colin was quite a lot slow, and last 40 kilometers we came in the dust, and we couldn't do anything. We had to just brake.
In the end, Mäkinen's effort had been in vain. The Finn was excluded from the event when the stewards decided he had been in breach of the service rules.
You can only service your vehicle in a designated service park. Outside of those service parks, you are not allowed any outside assistance, and you're not allowed any personnel to assist